All right. So we're going to start at a comfortable seat here, whatever that might look like for you. Yeah, there we go. So just settle in, get nice and comfy, get that back nice and straight and tall. Let the breath start to settle in as you bring your eyes closed. And just focus in on your breath. Feeling where that breath is naturally flowing. Okay, keeping the eyes closed. Let's go ahead and start to deepen that breath here. Taking it nice and low in the belly, feeling that belly rise with your inhale and release away with your exhale. Start to find that rhythm in your breath, that Ujjayi, good yogic breath. Okay, pause here for a couple more nice deep breaths. And when your exhale has been completely released, slowly bring your eyes open. And find yourself centered and ready for your practice. So what I'd like you to do is take your legs and your feet so that your feet are directly underneath your knees. It might be a little bit different than what you're typically used to. I want you to take the hands onto the upper thighs here, right at the knee. Just be real careful where you're pushing here. And just real slightly, real slight, just listen to your body. I'm always cautious about pushing on the knees, but just kind of try to push the knees down. Let the hips relax out. Sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to slowly start to forward fold, but lead with the chest. And we're just not going to go too far. Just go to where you're like, okay, that's it. And make sure you're not humping over on the back. We want to keep the back nice and tall here. So it's not about how far you go down. It's about what's feeling good in the hips, the outer hips, knees. Now slowly, slowly lift back up. Keep the pressure on the knees for right now. Now, I want you to slowly let go of the pressure that you have on the knees, but keep the knees pressed down. So it's going to activate your hips and your core a little bit. So see if you can maintain where the knees are by lifting the hands away. And just bring the hands to the heart center. Keep pressing those knees down. And just pause here and breathe. So you should be feeling a little activation on the outer hips. Back along here, down along the outer thigh there a little bit if you're pressing down. Let's take 2 more breaths. Might be feeling a little bit in the core as well. Slowly release the hands and release the knees. there you go. So we're gonna bring the feet to the floor, taking them nice and wide here. And we're just gonna do some just gentle windshield wipers, seated upright. And just gently let them go. You can take the hands back behind here, or you can have them out in front here, whatever feels good. And the next time the knees are down to the right, I want you to pause there. And I want you to let that left knee go as far down as feels good here. So you might have to lift that left hip a little bit, okay? So if you have really flexible hips here, this might not be too much of a difficult move for you, but if your knee is like up here and you're trying to get it down, it might be a little bit more for you, okay? And what we're gonna do, if you wanna take it a little deeper, we're gonna take this right foot and let it float to the top of the left knee. And then we're gonna slowly let the left hip start to lower, but leave the knee where it is. Ooh. So kind of a little twist. There you go. Feeling it? Yeah, good. Breathe. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Let's take one more breath. All right, let's slowly release that right foot. And we'll just windshield wipers a few more times back and forth. And then we're gonna, when the knees are down to the left, we're gonna do that same thing. So let the right knee go all the way down. Maybe lift that hip a little bit. Bring the left foot on top. And then slowly start to let that right hip release down to the ground. So you're trying to get to where both hips are down to the ground. Yeah, breathe. There you go. Well, did I tell you this is an outer hips, inner thighs practice tonight? There you go. Breathe. Good job. Take 2 more breaths here. All right, let's slowly release. And just finish up with a couple windshield wipers. Side to side. So that helps if you want to activate the core a little bit. That's where you put the arms out here. Feel the difference there. All right. Settle in here. And we're going to extend the left leg out wide. And we're going to bring the right foot in. So some of you, your knee might be up here. Some of you, it might be all the way down. So it just depends on your hips here. So if your hip is all the way, if your knee is all the way down, this might not be quite as deep of a stretch for you, but it'll still be a good stretch for you. I want you to take the left hand to the sole of the foot. I want you to press into the foot as the foot presses into the hand. So you're kind of activating this right leg here. There you go. Okay. So I had that foot right here in the center here. Now, we're going to slowly let this right knee lower. Again, lift that back hip, maybe bend the knee a little bit. And then we're going to press very gently. Again, always be mindful when you're pressing on the knee. And we're going to try to leave the knee down at the ground, and we're going to lower that left hip back down. Whew. So again, if you're really open in your hips, this might not be too intense, but hopefully you're getting a little bit of a stretch there. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Keep pressing into the foot here to activate that leg. That'll help it a little bit more. Let's take one more breath. And release. And just notice how that right hip is compared to the left right now. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of a difference there. Yeah, okay. So opposite side, extend the right leg out into a wide. Bring the left foot right here at center. Again, so your knee might be up like this, it might be down. So if you have really open hips, you're probably like me here. So we're gonna, again, take that right hand to the sole of the foot, press, press, press. So that might lift the knee up a little bit when you press. Yeah, okay. Then we're gonna lift that hip and let the knee go down. And then we're going to slowly keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, and let that right hip work its way back down. Breathe through into it. Keep that leg activated by pressing into the sole of the foot, into the hand. One more breath. And slowly release. Ooh. You don't actually feel it until you come out of it. Then you're like, oh yeah, okay. So let's take a block and put it out in front here. We're gonna bring the soles of the feet together into butterfly or cobbler's pose. We're gonna take the peace fingers here, find your toes, sit up nice and tall here. So if your knees are really high here, that's okay, okay? It's just how you are. And then we're gonna slowly begin to fold forward. Again, keep that back nice and long. Don't let it hunch over. Keep it nice and long. Just lead with the chest. Just go as far as feels good. And then the block is here. If you would like to maybe lean into the block, forearms, or whatever feels good. If you can get down to the floor. Yeah, just listen to your body. Breathe. Keep that back nice and long. Shine that crown up towards the top there. And I lost my music again. Darn it. Breathe here. One more nice deep breath. All right, we'll slowly walk it up. All right, I think we've got our hips stretched well enough so that we can work our way to the vinyasa up to standing. So we'll start at tabletop. Maybe sway the hips a little bit before we move. And then we'll prepare for our first down dog here. Curl the toes under, take a nice deep inhale, and exhale, send those hips up. Let those heels relax back. We'll take a couple breaths here in down dog. Do what you need here. Sway the hips, bend the knees, whatever feels good here. Walk the dog, pedal it out, whatever. All right, let's settle into neutral down dog. So let the heels relax back as far as feels good here. Take one more nice deep breath. And let's look to our hands, and we're going to jump or walk our feet to our hands into forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, circle, sweep the arms up overhead. Find your heart center with the palms together. And just pause here, take a few breaths. Awesome. All right, if you're not at the top of your mat, make your way to the top of the mat here. And we're gonna do a few half sun salutations here. So start with the hands down at the sides in mountain, Tadasana. And here we go. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle, sweep up. And exhale, sit in chair. Inhale, extend up, extended mountain. Exhale, fold it down. You take the hands straight down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, take the arms straight up to extended mountain. Exhale, chair. Okay, then we'll just continue with that flow. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand the arms straight up overhead, extended mountain. And exhale, chair. Beautiful. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, send the arms straight up overhead. Exhale, chair. One more time. Inhale up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, straight up overhead. Exhale, sit in chair. We're gonna pause here in chair. Take a couple breaths with the arms up overhead. Now let's bring the hands to the hips here. And we're just gonna do kind of like a ski pulse, okay? So kind of like just up and down. Just kind of move with your breath. Just kind of feel those thighs working, feel those hips working. Couple more. And we'll sit back in chair, release arms back up overhead. Ooh, notice the difference in your chair now. Maybe it's a little bit better here. Maybe you've got a little more stretch here. Take one more breath. Inhale up to extended mountain, palms together. Exhale, find your heart center. Pause here. Feel free to shake out the legs a little bit if you need to. Ooh, yeah. All right, if you have those two blocks, let's have them off, one to each side of your mat here. So they're handy for you. Go ahead and set them at the high setting so they're ready for you. All right, here we go. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And here we go. We're gonna set the right foot back and find a runner's lunge here. So here's where you want those blocks here. You're welcome to do it without the blocks, but yeah, I think I like the blocks better. So I want you to sink those hips down as far as feels good here. Let those hips sink, let them sink until your body says, that's it. I'm gonna pause here for a few breaths. Keep lifting your chest up here. And with your next exhale, I want you to begin to straighten the front leg and just kind of rock back. So that heel is going to go back towards the ground. So just pause here. So you're feeling a stretch in the back of the front leg. All right, now we're going to begin a little pulse here from that runner's lunge back to this position. So take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, runner's lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, send it back. Take an inhale here. Exhale, runner's lunge. Let that hip go down as far as feels good. Beautiful. Inhale. And exhale, take it back. So be careful when you go into that runner's lunge that that knee is not going too far out over the toes. You want to kind of keep it close to the ankle if possible. So if you need to walk that front foot out a little bit more so that it's not going over the knee over the toes. There we go. Just keep moving back and forth. Good. Nice. Beautiful. So I always like to say to line up your knee with that second toe. And it's really good to keep that alignment in. So when that knee comes out, check that alignment there with the second toe. Keeps the hips, the knees, and the lower leg all in a nice alignment there. Keep those knees healthy. Beautiful. Next time you're out at the runner's lunge, we're going to pause there. And then we're going to let the back knee drop down. And we're gonna leave the block to the outside of the front foot here. So if my left foot is in front, so I'm gonna let my left hand go to the block. The right hand, we're gonna slowly take it to the right hip. Open out the chest, open out, open out. And then if it feels good, if you wanna take the arm up overhead, take you a little bit deeper into the twist, feel free. Otherwise, just leave the hand on the hip. Breathe here. Nice deep breaths. Let's take 2 more breaths. And release the hand back, find the block, curl that back toe under as you begin to lift back up to that high lunge. And then we're gonna turn that back heel down. And then we're gonna make our way to triangle. So I like to leave the front knee bent a little bit here and then start to straighten. I'm gonna leave my hand on the block behind. And then we're gonna open out to the side, long side of the mat with the heart center and let the right arm float up. Pause here. Take some nice deep breaths. Check your alignment of your arm here. If you have to look back or look too far forward, move that arm so that it's nice aligned there. Take 2 more breaths here in triangle. And we're going to slowly bend that front leg and we're going to lift the body up. Bring it into warrior 2. Pause here. Then we're going to turn towards the back of our mat. Whew, there we go. All the way to the back. And then we're going to slowly lift that back heel, find high lunge. Pause here. And then we're going to drop down to that knee. And we're going to find lizard here. So we're going to give that right leg a little bit of a break here. And we're going to find lizard here. So again, if you want to bring a block around with you. So lizard here, you can turn the foot out to a 45. You can also, if you want to get a little deeper and it feels good in your body, you can also let that foot roll out to the side there. So you want a really nice wide space here. And then we're going to slowly begin to lower down. Maybe the hands just go to the block, and maybe that's your lizard. Maybe that feels good. Maybe you want to take the forearms down to the block. Take it a little bit deeper. Maybe you go all the way down to the mat. I don't know. It depends on your body. There you go. And take some nice deep breaths here. Let that head relax down. Breathe, breathe, breathe here. And take 2 more breaths. All right, slowly begin to lift the body up. And we're going to make our way to that low lunge on this side. So if you need to reach back to find your block, feel free. And we'll find that runner's lunge here. Pause here for a few breaths. Beautiful. Get your alignment here before we start moving. On your next exhale, we're going to straighten that front leg and press it back. Pause here for a few breaths. Feel that. Awesome. All right, we're going to begin that pulse here. So inhale here. Exhale, take it out to that runner's lunge. Inhale here, exhale, send it back. Inhale here, exhale to runner's lunge. Let those hips really sink here. Inhale, exhale, send it back. Beautiful. And just keep moving with your breath here. Exhale to move either into the low runner's lunge or take it back. Inhale in between. Keep breathing, keep moving. Next time you're in that runner's lunge, we'll pause there. We'll all meet there in that runner's lunge. Awesome. All right, let's drop that knee. And we'll come into that twist here. So right hand is on the block, right next to the foot. Open out, sending the hand to the hip. Start with the hand on the hip so you get nice and opened up here. And then if you want to, take the left hand up. Depending on what you need here. Breathe here, nice and deep. Let's take 2 more breaths. And let's lower down. We'll make our way back up to that runner's lunge. And then we're going to find triangle here. So bring that heel down, that back heel down. Leave that right knee bent ever so slightly, and then begin to straighten it. And then let that left hand float up. Breathe here nice and deep. Nice job. Keep breathing. Love the breath work here, guys. Good job. Let's take 1 more breath in triangle. Lower that left hand. And I'm going to slowly turn the body towards the long side of the mat. Again, face the front of the mat now. And we're going to do that lizard on this side. So bring that block around with you. You can wait till you get down there if that works. Whatever feels good here. Walk that foot out, 45 it. And this side might be different than the other side. And just begin to make your way down to your lizard of choice. What feels good to you, what you need here. Nice deep breaths. Beautiful. Let's take 2 more breaths. You're going to slowly begin to bring the body upright. Oh. And we're going to make our way to down dog from here. So curl that back toe under and then begin to slide the leg back. Beautiful. Pause here. Maybe notice where your legs are as compared to our first down dog. Maybe they're a little more stretched, feel a little bit better. All right, I want you to inhale and either bring your right or left foot forward, depending on which way you're facing me, because you're going to come into a wide-legged stance. And make sure you have a block in the center here. We'll come up to wide-legged stance. Ooh. All right. I'm going to turn the feet slightly out. Beautiful. I gotta look at my notes. This is a new one. Okay. All right. So we're going to inhale, take the arms up overhead. We're going to clasp the hands, and then we're going to bring them back behind the head. So we're going to kind of rest the head. Okay. So the purpose we're doing this for, because when we go to forward fold, I don't want the head or the shoulders to hunch down. So this will help you to stay open. Okay. So we take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Start to hinge at the hips. Now I want you to go as far as feels good. When you start feeling the head wanting to release or the shoulders wanting to release, don't go any further than halfway. When you feel like, oh, the shoulders are going to then come up just a tiny little bit so that you can stay open. Beautiful. Breathe here. Inhale, come back up. And then we're going to do a little pulse. Exhale, fold down. Just going as far as feels good. Inhale, bring it back up. Beautiful. Exhale, fold down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Just hinge at the hips. Keep that chest open. 1 more time. Inhale up. And exhale, fold. We're going to release the hands out to a T. We're going to do that same thing with the arms at a T now. Palms facing the floor. There you go. Inhale, come up. The palms will turn up. Exhale. Again, lead with the chest. Leave the chest open. Leave the shoulders open. Inhale up. And exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Release the hands down. Find your block here. Oh, all right, we're going to take the left hand to the block, and you may end up going to the floor. It just depends on your body here. So listen, or you might need a higher position for the block. So we're just going to play around with here. So we're going to come into a twist here. So we're going to bring the right hand to the hip, open out to the side, and then slowly, if it feels good, let the left hand float up, bring it into full twist. Again, you might want to release the block and go straight down to the floor, depending on what feels good in your body. Find it, breathe it, enjoy it. Awesome job, ladies and gents, if there's any gents out there. 1 more breath. Let's release that right arm down. Again, start with the block just because you don't know what the other side's going to feel like, okay? If you know your body, go right ahead. But I'm going to start with the block. Bring the left hand to the hip. Start at the hip. And then I like to release the hand from the heart center with the elbow to the ceiling and then release the shoulder up. That helps. It's a little bit better on your shoulder. Beautiful. Again, if you want to let go of the block, go down to the floor. Listen to your body. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Take 1 more breath. Release the hands down. Do a couple half lifts here. Inhale up to the fingertips, half lift. Exhale, fold down. Let the crown of the head really release down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it down one more time. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold down, and we'll hang here for just a little bit. Take 2 more breaths here. Awesome. Bring the body slightly upright as we begin to turn the top of the mat. Turn the feet. And then we'll come into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, we'll take the arms straight up overhead. Palms together. Exhale. Find your heart center. All right, we got to incorporate a balance in some way. I got a good one for you. Woo-hoo. All right, here we go. So we're going to put the weight into the left foot. I'm going to turn and face you guys so you can see. And then we're going to slowly bring the right foot to the knee, coming into a figure 4. If you need to move to a wall, feel free to go to a wall. The other thing you can do if you want a chair close by you, okay? And then slowly lower to chair. Beautiful. Breathe, breathe, breathe. So whatever support you need, if you need a wall to focus on, if you need a chair to hold on to in front of you. Let's see if we can get 3 more breaths here. Oops, not me. And slowly come up. Release. Whew, shake it out. All right, here we go. Opposite side. Get your weight into the right leg. And again, move to a wall if you feel good. Bring that foot. Find your figure 4. Hands to the heart center and release it into chair. Breathe here. One more breath, you got it. And release. Whew. Find the top of your mat. Oh yeah. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold it down. And we're gonna step it back to down dog here. Take a couple breaths here in down dog. And then we're gonna lower down to tabletop. We're gonna come into broken toe pose. So we're gonna bring the legs together, feet together, and we're gonna curl the toes under. And then we're gonna slowly begin to release the hips back. And we're gonna sit on the heels. Now, this might be a little too intense. If that's the case, you can use a blanket in between, or you can take a block in between and sit on a block and still get the stretch that you need along the back of the feet. There you go. So this is really good for that plantar fasciitis, that part of the foot that we often neglect. Okay, beautiful. Now, I want you to relax the feet down. And again, you might want to block for this as well. This is an option here, so we're gonna sit back a little bit. Another option, if you want to go a little deeper and a little more stretch in the back of the foot, bring the 2 blocks here, lift the feet, and roll back. Whew. There you go. This is a nice counter pose to broken toe. And lower down. Make your way back to tabletop. I got a couple more things here before we make our way down to our backs. We're getting there. Good job. So we're going to come into gate. So I want you to curl the toes under of the left foot. And I want you to extend the right leg back. Kind of kickstand it back there. Very good. And let it come down to the floor. Beautiful. We're going to let the right hand kind of float up. Now you can stay right here, or if you want to try to let the left hand float as well, just slightly hover over the floor. Beautiful. A little bit of balance here, a little bit of core work here. Awesome. And lower back down. And then we're going to take the right arm and guide us all the way to where the right hand comes in contact with the right leg. And then we're going to bring the left arm over into a little side stretch here. Beautiful. One more breath. And then we're going to let the left hand float back down to the floor. And we're going to let the right hand reach towards the opposite wall. Kind of like extended side angle, but on the knee. Beautiful. Nice deep breaths here. And let's release it back to a tabletop. And then we're going to do the opposite side. So we're going to kickstand the right foot out, curling those toes under, and extend the left leg back. Let the foot come in contact with the floor. And begin to let the left arm float up. And then if you want to go to where you're hovering the right hand, using your core, activating the legs, breathe. Awesome, one more breath. And then we're gonna let the left hand guide us to where it comes to the left leg. Left arm guides to the left leg, sorry. And take it into a side bend. Beautiful. Take a few breaths here. One more breath. And then let the right hand go to the mat. The left arm reaches out and extends out. Getting that nice long line along the left side of the body. Breathe here. Two more breaths. And make your way back to tabletop. And once you're in tabletop, let's just move whatever feels good here. Maybe it's swaying the hips side to side. Maybe it's some hip circles. Maybe it's some cat-cow. So just spend a little time here doing whatever feels good to you. And we're going to come into pigeon here. So some people like to do it from down dog. Some people like to do it straight from tabletop. I like to go to down dog, just my personal preference. So I'm going to go to down dog. And then we're going to bring the right knee in towards the hands, placing that right knee right next to the right wrist. Settle down into your pigeon. Some people, a block underneath the hip sometimes feels good, or a blanket if you need that support. You can stay upright if that feels best, or if you'd like to go to sleeping pigeon and lower down, letting the head rest on a stacked block or maybe stacked fists, or all the way down to the mat, whatever feels good here. Breathe here. Take one more nice deep breath. And we're going to lift the body up and make your way back to down dog if that's where you're starting your pigeon from. Take a breath in between, or you can start from tabletop, whatever works for you. And then when you're ready, bring that left knee in and find pigeon on the opposite side. Again, you can stay upright if that feels best to you, or you can always go into that sleeping pigeon. Just make sure you let that head rest on either stack fist, block, or maybe it goes all the way down to the mat, but let it rest. Let it become relaxed. Breathe. Just take 2 more breaths here. We'll begin to lift up. And maybe go to down dog, maybe go to tabletop. Whichever way you go, we're going to end up in tabletop. And then we're going to end up on our backs. So whatever way works for you. I like to swing the hips off to one side, off to the other. And when you go down, make sure you have whatever you want for Shavasana close by. We'll do a few little things on the back before we go to Shavasana. So make your way down to your back and bring the feet to the floor, sending the knees up. And we're going to take the feet nice and wide. So if you remember at the beginning, we did that seated windshield wiper, and then we rested on one side. We're going to do that same thing. So inhale, center. Exhale, drop the knees down to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. We'll do that one more time to each side. All right, the next time the knees are dropped down to the right, we're going to pause there. And if you want that deeper stretch, just let that right foot go to the left knee and let that weight of the foot be the stretch there for you. Pause here for a few breaths. One more breath on this side. If you have the foot on the knee, relax the foot off. And do a couple windshield wipers to each side. And the next time the knees are down to the left, pause there. And again, if you want to take it a little deeper, let the right foot go to, or left foot, sorry, go to the right knee. Pause here and breathe. Beautiful. Those arms can be wherever you want them. They can be down along the sides. They can be up overhead if that feels good. Just find whatever feels good. We'll take 2 more breaths. And if the left foot is on top of the right knee, slowly release it. Bring the knees back to center. And then we're going to release the soles of the feet towards each other, coming into supine butterfly. I like to take the arms up overhead in butterfly, but you can do what feels good here to you. And just let the knees relax out. Pause and breathe. Let's take 2 more breaths. All right, bring the knees back to center, and then spend a moment here just doing whatever else might feel good here. Maybe a happy baby will feel good. Maybe a supine twist will feel good. So just take it whatever you need here. Spend a few breaths here taking care of yourself, of whatever else feels good to you. Maybe it's some knee circles. Maybe it's a full body stretch. Maybe it's sending the legs up to the ceiling. Let everything release down. And we'll pause for just a few more breaths here, taking care of whatever else you need. And as you begin to feel ready, begin to make your way to your Shavasana pose of choice, using whatever comforts might feel good to you. Maybe it's a block or a bolster underneath the knees. Maybe it's an eye pillow. Begin to make your way down to settling, releasing. Bones and muscles become very heavy here. Heart rate starts to slow down. Breath starts to slow down. Now we're just going to pause and rest here for a few minutes. I'll bring you back together at the end. Slowly let your breath become into your awareness. Add some small bodily movements, fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Slowly bringing yourself back to your space. And when it feels right in your body, slowly roll to one side and pause on that side for a breath or two. And when it feels right, use your arms and your hands to press the body upright. Taking your time. And work your way back up to a comfortable seat. Ooh, notice those hips now. All right, let's release the hands out to the sides, palms facing the ceiling. Inhale, release the arms up overhead. Bring the palms together. Exhale, slide it through to your heart center. And bow ever so slightly to yourself. And thank yourself for giving this time of your day to get a nice deep stretch for your muscles and your hips and your body, and breathe and breathe and breathe and feel wonderful. And I thank you for joining me. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Beautiful. Thanks for joining. And as always, be well.